Hi, so I thought I'd just give you a little view of what my Google Classroom looks like. When you open it up, obviously it opens on the stream, and on the stream I remove all the notifications because I only want messages either from the students to me or from me to the students with information about maybe what they've missed or if I'm away, or I can message just one student if they were away and remind them of what they need to be doing, or like here I had 3 students who were away, just reminding them what we worked on that lesson just to keep them up to date. And the parents are often guardians on the Google Classroom, and they get the messages from the stream as well. The way that I've turned off the other notifications that come from classwork is by clicking that button up there, and the settings button, and you can go down to classwork on the stream and hide notifications. So when you go here, you can click on hide notifications. So if we go back to this front page and click onto classwork, so when we're in the classwork setting, up the top here are the posts that I want to stay there. So way back at the beginning of the school year on 7th of February, I included this. So I put a couple of videos, one from the Modern Classroom, just a couple of minutes long, just saying what the whole purpose is, and then one from me, just communicating directly to the parents and the students about the purpose of self-paced, mastery-based blended learning. Not specific to how to actually do it in the classroom, but the principles behind it. And then in the term, this is how I organize it. So at the top, and I keep this at the top, I keep the slides that they need to access and the tracker. And then underneath this topic of term 2, I have the order of, I call them learning intentions, so they're usually about 3 lessons at a time, maybe 4 lessons, and sometimes there are pieces of work that I want online submission, so I just have an open assessment with submit your work here, and then I can mark them as they come in. So if I show you what my slides look like, here are my self-paced slides for this year 10 class. So they have a topic heading, they have a reminder of what must do, should do, and aspire to do are all about. So I grouped them in skills. So the must do's are the purples, the should do's are blue, the aspire to do's are pink at the moment, and then there's a hexagon here telling them the number of lessons, and then the learning intention will be at the bottom. The next slide has a link for mastery quiz and any revision, and then the success criteria, they can do statements, and their learning intention again. So what that looks like is, as we move through, the next slide shows the tracker. So this is for learning intention number 1. So learning intention 1 had some must-dos. It's about DNA structure, some should-dos with links, and some aspire-to-dos. And you can see here that on the should do, there's a submit on Google Classroom learning intention number 1. So if they do this worksheet online, they can submit it to me. Equally, if they do this write a letter to the Nobel Prize Committee activity, they can submit that in the same spot, and I'll mark that and give them feedback as they're working through that. And this was taking 3 lessons. So then when they get to the 3rd lesson, the end of the 3rd lesson, they check the can-do statement. So I can do this and I can do these 3 things. And if they feel that they can answer yes to all of those, they can click the mastery quiz link, which will take them to a Google form. And the Google form is their ability to show me what they can do. So they go through and they answer the questions. A lot of them are self-marked, but auto-marked by Google Classroom. By Google Forms, and then there are a couple here that I have to actually go in and read their response because I want to see the quality of their writing and their ability to justify or whatever the question might be. So back to this one, usually there's a revision activity so that if they don't pass mastery, there's a link here. For this particular learning intention, we had a paper activity that they had to collect in class if they needed to redo. And then I'll have to just move down because we're a little bit further on. We have a slide which indicates where we are on pace. So at the moment we're actually on pace. We've just finished learning intention number 3, so we're on pace for number 4. So this is what they look for when they are looking to see where they're up to, and you can see on the progress tracker there's lots of students have only just started learning intention number 4. What I do like to do on my progress tracker slide is to do some shout outs, and these students get merits and get some accolade in the class. So you can see on learning intention number 3, most students have done the mastery quiz. There's a few who are away at the moment with the flu, so we're a little bit behind for some of those students. So hopefully that sort of gives you a little bit of a view as to what my self-paced slides look like. Now, the progress tracker, so when the students want to update the progress tracker, on the on-page slide here, there's a link. So they click onto my progress tracker, and that pulls up an Excel spreadsheet. They all have access to this. Obviously got somebody online at the moment, which is interesting because it's 8:51 at night. But they can enter their own number. They've got 3 options here, so they can have a 0 for in progress, a 1 for it's done, and a 2 for assistance needed. And what happens then is if they add a 0, then it goes conditional formatting colour is yellow. If they add a 1, it'll go purple. If they add a 1 for the should do's, it goes blue. They're done. If they add a 1 for the aspire to do's, it goes pink. So it matches the colours from my slide. I'll change all those back to white because Sebastian hasn't done those yet. But if they were to feel that they needed assistance and they put a 2 in, it pops up red, and so we can all see that really quickly, and other students can jump in and help, or I can go and help them. So that's what that looks like. But the students can't do, let's get rid of that one, delete. The students can't enter anything into this 4th column for the mastery quiz because it's a protected column, so only I can enter a 1 or a 0 for that to make it green if they pass, and if they don't pass I put not a 2, a 0, and it comes up orange, which means to revise. So when they log on to the slides, they see whether they have passed or whether they need to revise. And this connects to the slides so that when we are on this page, it will show me if I need to update any of those cells. It'll have the word update above the table, and it's linked to the Google Classroom, the Google Sheets that we just saw then. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can, with just Google Classroom and just Google Slides and Google Sheets, link it all together for quite a seamless experience for the students. And my students at the moment, they seem to like this. Okay.